Okay, so right now I'm just testing the online YouTube live video streaming platform to see how well it works with my computer. I'm currently using the external high definition camera that's plugged into my computer, and also the internal microphone on my laptop. The other thing I want to test is the actual text chat live feed, and I'll test that in a minute. The main thing I wanted to test out first is seeing how well the audio feedback works, and I'll check that in a minute as well through the replay. And the main thing actually is to make sure that the actual video resolution of the video is good enough. So right now I'm actually trying to test the different cameras, the one in the internal webcam on my laptop. The other one is the external camera that's kind of plugged in externally. And they both seem to work pretty well, but I think in the settings for this particular platform, I cannot actually change between the two different cameras. So I'll have to test that in a second and look at the different settings. So that's that. The other thing is the audio, to actually test to make sure that it works well, that from the point of view of the audience, you can actually hear my voice properly, to make sure it's properly synchronized with the way I'm speaking, and that I can, when I clearly kind of verbalize and enunciate the words, that those can be heard clearly. So, and then at that point, I can troubleshoot whether it's the actual microphone itself or the actual online streaming platform that needs to be dealt with and fixed. So that's certainly something to look into. And there's a few other things, obviously. And as said already in the previous videos, what I'll be doing is more of these live streaming of the kind of content that I've done as part of my work, especially in more recent times. And a lot of these will actually go online as videos on my YouTube channel. And I might actually post those on other social media platforms as well. That's in relation to the scientific work that I've done in research and teaching, and the interdisciplinary scientific and computational modeling work as well that I have done as part of the video series that I'm currently producing. But the purpose of the live chat right now is just to test, to make sure that the audio works well, and it seems to be working pretty well. Let me actually try the chat, the text chat. So for example, if I say, okay, this works, it should come up on the right hand side in the chat feed. And if I actually access the video through a different account, let me actually just quickly try to see if it works. I think I need to actually share it first through a link, which I haven't done, which I think I've done in the settings, but it's still not working properly as I'm using a different computer. So I'll try that in a minute, if I give it a minute maybe. And obviously feedback to you, and if there's any comments that you have to leave, any feedback that you have to leave in the comments, please feel free to do so, just to make sure that you can actually hear me properly and that this live feed actually works. So I've never actually done a live streaming before. Right now I'm just looking at the timer just to see how it matches the kind of the auto-generated transcript that I've got on the side as well. I hope you'll probably have access to that as well. So I'm still waiting for that link to work in my email, but it's still not working. So let's just forget about that. I can, of course, post. Let me start. So for example, if I do start a poll, if I ask a question, how are you? And, people can actually answer through that poll, so that there's some sort of interactivity there. let me try to add different reactions. So right now, it should not appear on your screen, but soon you should be able to see some emojis coming up. It seems to be working. Okay, then. Right, okay, and also the timestamps for each of the comments as well. Yes, so there you go. The other thing I wanted to talk about, which I'll be talking in other videos, is, again, the type of content that I'll be producing through the online streams. And this one right here is just to test a few things. One is whether or not the speech is actually properly synchronized with the image video that you're seeing. The other thing is whether or not the language comprehension algorithm that auto-generated transcripts works properly. So that's what I'll be testing in a second, in a few minutes. Might actually take a few hours to get done. So I'll get back to you on that once all the data is processed. And right now I'm just looking at you can't see it right here, and I might post a link to some screenshots of it, but I have the YouTube Live Studio with all the different settings. So I can obviously see myself and all the settings for the actual streaming platform, and the settings for that particular video, which you can actually edit before you go live and during and after as well. So that's something I'll be testing and then benchmarking to make sure that it complies with those things that I had read before. The other thing I want to test is, of course, the volume of the videos, so the volume of the audio. So again, please leave feedback in the description. If you're not able to hear what I'm saying, if the volume is too low, maybe I might have to increase the actual volume itself through the internal settings on my computer, or the actual changing, or by actually changing the settings for the actual microphone itself. I might actually have to use a different microphone next time. And that's it in a nutshell. In summary, that's pretty much it. So yes, I'll probably stop the video in a few minutes. The other thing that's very important is testing how the actual visuals appear. So this should be available in high definition and also standard definition and high definition. I don't know if it's going to be available in 4K. I'll have to look at the settings and whether or not it's available. And that's it pretty much. The other thing I'd like to test is to see whether or not when I present another screen in front of the screen, it actually shows up. So I'll be, as I've already done quite a lot as part of my work at King's College London and other places, but also through the online videos I've done through my websites and so on, I just want to test whether or not the portable devices actually, whether or not you can actually see the screen and displays on these portable devices. So I use a lot of different apps for the educational dissemination of the scientific computational modeling content that I've produced over the years. And the screen shares, unlike in Microsoft Teams, for example, I'm able to do a lot of screen share and change the screen share settings. Here in YouTube Live, I'm only able to use the webcam. I've tried to look for a way to share the screen, but for some reason, it doesn't seem to be present on the actual settings right here that I'm looking at. So right now, I'm just going to show you, right now, this is just a test to see whether or not the display on the portable device actually shows up in the final video. I mean, I can see it clearly right here, but when it actually does all the processing of the video, it might come out with some really bad reflections or data processing artifacts, visual artifacts that come up. So I just want to make sure how good the resolution is, especially also with the motion detection as well. And I can already see there's a little bit of lag in the actual streaming. I don't know if that's going to be the case for the actual final processed version, but it seems to be doing fine right now. And these will be very helpful just to demonstrate some of the content in some of the apps that I've been quite immersed in and that I've used quite extensively for the work I've done in both in relation to research and teaching in scientific domains, for various kinds of different independent projects, both collaborative projects and also independent works that I've been involved in. So I think it seems to be fine. If I go to and the normal browser web pages should also, technically, it should show up on the screen here. And again, what I'll be doing in another video is show all the navigational features and special features that you can access through those sorts of portable device, these means of alternative means of communication. The reason I'm going to use that quite a lot, again, to reiterate, is that a lot of the screen share features are actually defunct on the online studio, the YouTube Live Studio. So I think I'm going to have to look at how to reactivate it. But for now, I'll be using this, and I'm just going to close that here. And that's it. So the chat seems to work pretty well. I've got the microphone as well, the microphone settings. What I'll probably do is, after I actually test the quality of the voice, the quality of the sound, I'll have to make sure that it's the correct amplitude. I'll have to look at using the Wondershare software and the other kinds of software to make sure what frequency components are best captured through the audio data processing. And also for the visual features, I'm going to have to look at whether or not what kind of quality are available. And I'll do that through the actual video settings, and we'll see how that goes. So right now, I'm just going to type in more just words in the chat that should come up, right? And there's the actual timestamp that should come up as well. And on the other side here, I've got other features as well. And that's pretty much it. So this has been Harry Musart. I've shown some of the, I haven't shown yet, but this was just a test for the live streaming. And in future videos on the live stream, I'm going to do actual proper live stream, talking about things that are actually useful. And this is just a test. And I'm going to just put an end to it now. And hopefully that will be useful for future live streams. So, right. End stream. Right. Okay. Thank you very much. and end stream is right there.